Hello everybody, this is Krishna. I'm going to teach quantitative aptitude for all the CAT aspirants who are going to enroll with LTX classes. I picked a few questions on percentages that were asked in CAT 2020, and I just want to show you in this video how do we approach these kind of questions in the exam, and what are the things that we need to look out for and what are the things we should avoid doing. Okay, without any further delay, let's get started. Let's look at the first question. In the final examination, Bishnu scored 52% and Asha scored 64%. The information that we have is I'll use B for Bishnu. B has scored 52%, A has scored 64%. Okay. The marks obtained by Bishnu is 23 less and that by Asha is 34 more than the marks obtained by Ramesh. So what they have given us in the question is the marks obtained by B and A relative to R rather than relative to each other. So very clearly it says Bishnu is 23 less, which means Ramesh has scored more marks than Bishnu. So the differential in the marks between Ramesh and Bishnu is 23. Similarly, Asha is 34 more than Ramesh, which means Asha scored 34 marks more than Ramesh can be represented as A minus R equal to 34. If we just add these two equations, we would know that A minus B is 57. In other terms, Asha scored 57 marks more than Bishnu. In percentage terms, the difference is given as 12%. In other words, 12% of the marks is nothing but 57. Before we jump in and calculate the total marks for which the exam is conducted, let us look at what the question is. The question is the marks obtained by Geeta, who scored 84%, is how much? Very clearly you can see 12% and 84% are related because 12% into 7 is 84%. So we don't have to actually calculate the entire marks and then take 84% of it. Rather, we can avoid that step and directly multiply 57 into 7, which is 399 marks. This is the marks scored by Geeta. The answer is A. It's not wrong for you to calculate 12% of marks is 57. What is 100% of the marks? But this is avoidable. This need not be done. This would just waste your time because you do it and then you calculate 84%, you still come to 399. So these are the things that you need to look out for in terms of arriving at the answer much faster than it usually takes. Let's go to the next question. In May, John bought the same amount of rice and same amount of wheat as he had bought in April. So there is a person, John, who bought rice and wheat in May and April. Okay, so I'll say April, rice, wheat, and May. Very clearly it says same amount of rice was bought, same amount of rice and wheat were bought in April and May. But John spent 150 more due to price increase of rice and wheat by 20% and 12% respectively. They are also saying John paid 150 more in May as the price of rice and wheat have increased. How much did they increase by? It says 20% and 12%. So rice has become 20% more than what it was in April and wheat has become 12% more than what it was in April. If John had spent 450 on rice in April, then how much did he spend on wheat in May? Okay. Now what they're asking us is John had spent 450 on rice and this has gone up by 20%, so which is nothing but 450 into 1.2, which is 540. We don't know how much is wheat. If we assume wheat cost is X, and since it has gone up by 12%, this should be 1.12x. What we also know is the total cost in April and total cost in May the difference of this is 150. So how do you represent the total cost in April? Simple equation, x plus 450. This is the cost in April. How much is the cost in May? 540 plus 1.12x. So 540 plus 1.12x minus the cost in April is 150. This is what is given here. If you just solve this equation, this is going to be 1.12x minus x plus 540 minus 450 is equal to 150, which is 0.12x plus 90 is equal to 150, which means 0.12x is equal to 60 and x is 500. They did not ask you for the price of wheat in April, but they rather asked you for price of wheat in May, which is nothing but 1.12 times 500, which is 560. The answer is C. I hope that is clear in terms of how did we arrive at the answer of 560. Let's go to the next question. In a group of people, 28% of members are young while the rest are old. So we can easily say if young is 28%, if rest are old, which is nothing but 100% minus 28%, which is 72%. If 65% of the members are literates and 25% of the literates are young, then the percentage of old people among illiterates. Okay, there are two data sets that we have. One is young and old, and the other is literates and illiterates. So let us represent it in this form: young, old, literates, illiterates. We know the total young people are 28%, the total old people are 72%. We also know the total literates. It says 65% of the group is literates. If this is 65, then the illiterates are 100 minus 65, which is 35. Now what we are being asked is percentage of old people among the illiterates. So we need to figure out each of these numbers. Then we can determine how much is this as a percentage of total literates, which is 35. For us to identify this, there is one information which is given, which is this one: 25% of literates are young. So if literates are total 65, how much would be 25% of that? I will just take the approximation 65 into 100 by 4. I can say 16.25, which is approximately 16. So if I take young literates as 16, out of 28, how many would be illiterates? Which is 12. And if I know the total illiterates are 35, out of which young illiterates are 12, how many old illiterates would be there? It's 23. So what they've asked you is what percentage of old illiterate what percentage of illiterates are old people. So there are 23 illiterates out of 35. If I have to put it in percentage terms, 5 20s, 5 7s, 7 goes 3.3 times, 20 times 3.3 is 66%. That's the answer for this question. I hope you enjoyed the explanation. I'll come back to you soon with few more questions. Look forward to having you on board. Good luck. Bye-bye.